What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is episode number 101 of my Rapid Rating Climb series, and we are on a journey to 1000 ELO. So, if you guys enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into today's game. Get some tunes on for you guys, and we can jump into the 10-minute pool. See who we're playing today. Playing with the white or the black pieces. What we got. It's been taking me a little longer to find games recently. I have said a few times that I should increase my rating range, but alright, so D4, we're gonna play a London. You know how we do. Looks like he's going for a King's Indian, which is a thing. Sure. I think what we do first is get this knight out. And then we can get this one out and then just go for it. So I think we're doing okay here. He's castled. He gets his quick development and everything. I think bishop here is probably a good move. Also, just here, I could play, maybe just go for e6, boom, captures, boom, captures. He's got to move his knight. He can come over here, which is kind of annoying. Not the worst thing in the world, I guess. I can back up. I think we're going to go for this. I think we can probably just get ready to castle. And so if he pushes right now, I take, he takes, I take. Alright, so he can't necessarily do that right yet. If I push, he takes, I take, and we're having a good day, maybe. I think castling is a good idea, though, since he's already lined up his rook. Another break he has is c5, I think, in the King's Indian. And that might be a little different. I'm not really necessarily 100% thrilled about that move. I think we can get our rook on the open file, or on the soon to be open file, and I think we've been ready for e5. He's not, I mean, we're going to beat him to it. We're more developed than he is, so I like my position. So if I push, he can take. I could just play this just to see what he wants to do. I think we will. If he backs his bishop up, we can trap his bishop. So if he comes over here, we have a trap, obviously. That's a bad move. So he either needs to take right now. Okay, or back up. And I think we can open everything up. Take with the bishop, take with the knight, take with a pawn. That opens this up. and is kind of annoying for white. If I take with the rook, I don't know if I want to do that. I think taking with the knight is alright. Also, taking with the pawn is an idea. I think I'm going to take with the knight, though. And then I might try and start rotating my pieces over, and maybe we can start attacking on the king side. So he can take with the queen. I don't know how good that is because I'm just going to win tempo on it, but he could do that. If I do that, he can't take this pawn. He can't take anything in my position. Do I have anything better, though? I'm going to do that. Could have also done it with a pawn push, but then he could have taken this pawn. And I'm also potentially threatening that pawn. So I could play this move, chase his queen away again, but then this is hanging. So I think with that in mind, if you can play the move b2, it's not necessary. It might not be a bad move. However, if I do that, this is hanging. So in this scenario, it might just be better to push the pawn. That way I'm blunting this bishop over here and not hanging a pawn no matter what I do. I could have brought my queen over, but that's just silly to me. I could also just back this bishop up now. Or I could bring my queen, which I might end up doing. I think I'm going to offer the queen trade. We'll see what he wants to do. It's probably not the best move, but I like it. I can just back my bishop up. Take with the bishop. This is extra defended now, so if he does take, I can take with the bishop, threatening his bishop. Alright, so he's pushing his pawns. I don't see why we can't push ours necessarily. If he takes, I can take back, or I could take back with the bishop. Or I could play this move. This blunts that bishop a little more, but this pawn becomes something. Let's see. What do I have? I have a move like this, which doesn't do very much. It doesn't look like. I have a move like this where I could threaten the rook. I could take this. He recaptures with the bishop. But then this hangs, so we won't be doing that. I think we bring the... We'll do this. We'll open some things up. Maybe we'll trade some more pieces as well. I like this, because if he does take, I can take back with the bishop. If he takes, then I take back, and then I have two connected pawns in the center. He just wants to trade everything down. That's a hanging pawn. I can push this pawn and threaten this bishop. And also move over here and threaten this. If he pushes this, obviously I can just take the bishop. I think we can double up the rooks on the open file. I also think that I could play this move. Or I could take and then play this move. I could also play this, which is, I don't know, doesn't seem that great. If I played this, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Yeah, so he can't do that. So maybe we do that. But then he could move his rook over to this file, threatening my bishop. So maybe we do this and then back our bishop up. So right now I'm threatening that for sure. If I do that, we're definitely threatening that pawn for sure. If I just push, he can take, or he can take here. I don't like that necessarily. If I push, he can take. Now, what am I talking about? He can't take there first because his bishop. So he'd have to take here. Then I take back. And his bishop has to move. An alternative is that I bring this rook over to here, assuming that the file is going to open up. I could also waste more time on simple moves. Geez Louise, this is rough. Maybe I just go for it. We're just gonna go for it. super down on time, so that's a big flaw right now in my game plan. I think I could just do this and trade. So I definitely will be taking next move. We'll see what he wants to do. I do need to play quick, though. I need to think on his time. So what might he do? He might take. If he does, I could take with the pawn, or I could take this way. He could move his rook over to this file. So he can't take my bishop because his rook is hanging. Now we can start gobbling pawns. If he moves his rook, I'll just take this pawn. So that's number one. We can start getting our king active. That'd be number two. I feel like he wants to move his rook, but he kind of can't. All right. Now we can start king walking. Get our king in the mix. What do we got? If I move here, he can't infiltrate right here, so we'll do that. Push the pawn. I can start bringing my king up the board. defend everything. Push the pawn. We'll just keep pushing the pawn. All right, now we can bring the king again. He's going to take with his rook. I will take with my rook. And now we will push all of our pawns. So if I push this, he takes, I take. That's a good scenario. Let's do that. He can just push that way, which is fine. I will come over here and start to win all of his pawns. I don't think my opponent can beat me now. All right, we got it. We got the win. We got the W. Nice, 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 nice. All right, so where's my game review? Why does that always happen? Hold on one second, guys. Let's get to the game review. Let's check this thing out. Sure, we didn't play, but so great, but it was a pretty fun game. Okay, 80.8% accuracy, so almost 81. One miss, one mistake, 8 inaccuracies. It was I knew it was a long game, so I knew I didn't play, but so well. So we go for a London. I knew he was playing the King's Indian, and I know that playing e4 is a decent move to push for e5 when you can. So I kind of stray away from traditional London, but the London is nice because I get all my pieces developed pretty quickly. They get to castle kingside really quick, but I mean, you know, I think King's Indian is a hard opening to like really learn like all the things, because there's a lot that goes on in the King's Indian. It's very open, and I mean, you can play it versus anything, so I think that's one of the harder openings personally. But I like what I did here. I kind of just developed. This was, I mean, probably not the best move on my end. I just kind of threatened it and he backed up. I pushed early, so yeah, just going for something cheeky, saying move the bishop again. What are you gonna do? That would have been fine. I like the knight there. It can get chased away pretty easily by just that, but you know, if that happens, you just take the bishop, right, and you're happy. So I like that. I didn't see that move, obviously. They take with the pawn. I take with the knight. So I thought about this a long time. Taking with the pawn is the best move. I was like, taking with the knight isn't that bad. I noticed after I played it that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I'd already prepared for my bishop to back up, say, if I took with the pawn, you know, and the knight needed to move, right? And if he came over here, I already made a cool little house for my bishop. You know, I have an extra bedroom in my castle. So he could have come stayed. So yeah, taking with the knight was just not that great. He immediately threatens my bishop, which is also a move, but I can just take, right? So I took. This was not a good move either. So I wonder if they just wanted me to reinforce. Let's see what the best move was. So I saw this. My bishop's defended by my knight. Now this is defended because my queen, and I'd get the bishop in the end. So I like that move. That would have been cool. I didn't do it that way. I saw it this way. Not the best move in this position either. I think giving up, yeah, just keeping the pressure up and being like, dude, what's going on? You know, before he can even bring a rook to the open file, right? Like, he can't even do that yet. Like, he's already got problems. Now he can't even do this. Like, so, that pawn would have been sweet, and then I could have followed up maybe, you know, after a minute. I mean, even right now, after that, if I had 3 moves in a row, I could do that, right? It's defended by my knight still, so, that would have been cool. I need to work on seeing some of these tactics. This isn't a traditional London for me, so it's kind of hard for me to understand. But I ignored an opportunity to win a pawn, apparently, in this position. So, yeah, I mean, it was hanging. I could have just won the knight. He takes, and then I take. So, yeah. So the plan was take the knight. Queen recaptures, this pawn is hanging, rook is threatened. He can't do his traditional little bump over to the side thing necessarily in B, but so threatening, I can just win this pawn right after that. If so, this is defended because of the weird pawn push that I did. So, anyways, so we trade the queens, I take back with the bishop, another inaccuracy, so really just kind of like, I saw this move. I didn't think it was but so good, but I mean, you know, it actually is not that bad. I mean, even something like this potentially could be pretty obnoxious for my opponent, and I just win a pawn right and like just walking in your door and just taking your pawn. So you can see white has quite the advantage in that position, but in this position I've lost. Whoa, hold on guys, sorry about that. Let's go back. Sorry about that. In this position, I don't have the advantage. I mean, we're straight up perfectly even. So, he takes, I take with the bishop. He takes, I take with the rook. Here we go. I move my bishop over. So not the best move. I was wasting some time here. And I was like, man, maybe it is better to do it like this. I mean, he can't really infiltrate. But he can't infiltrate because the bishop is covering here. And I didn't see that during the game. I wasn't really paying attention to that in my calculations. Also, this pawn is, if he captures this way, you know, this pawn is weak. A lot of people capture towards the center. I think in this circumstance, it might be better to do it like this, but maybe I'm wrong. Do it like this just so it opens up the rook. But instead I push, they take, I take with the bishop. He comes down with his rook, which is not the best move. So my best move wasn't even used as well. So I just threatening the rook, right? Like, why is your rook there? Which is what I thought in the moment as well. Like, why is your rook there? So I didn't capitalize on it very well. He did see that his rook was hanging and that he can't recapture immediately. Whoa. I got you. Yeah, this pawn is just freaking almost unstoppable at this point. I mean, if you take, I recapture, obviously, right? But the world is your oyster. Also, you just get to weaken this for free. So if he does recapture, I think taking this is still the better move. And you can just get that pawn off the board here shortly. It's a weak pawn, not defended by anything. Instead, I give myself kind of 2 weak pawns. I mean, he's got this guy over here, but this was kind of a mistake. I didn't need to do that to myself. So we defend. Apparently that's a great move. I don't know if that necessarily deserves that. Just push the pawn, gave my rook space to get in, back the rook up. Not the best move. Yeah, it made more sense. I backed up to all the way, and I realized immediately, I was like, I need to be guarding my second rank. So Took the opportunity to push the king. Still not the best move, just pushing the pawn. Knowing that he's going to have to give up his rook here in a minute for it, which is fine because we have annoying problems. For him to deal with this, he'd have to bring his king all the way, and in the meantime, we can just eat these. So, anyways, I move my rook forward, which is not the best move. Just pushing the pawn, again, best move. The reason that's the best move, I think, is because it just makes his king need to keep up, right? Like, the king does need to keep up, and that just maybe gives him... I mean, I guess he could just bring it over, and I still keep pushing. But that's the problem, is if I'm here, and he brings this over, and I push again, he's got an extra move to get his king forward. Maybe that's more annoying, I don't know. But endgames are hard for me. So I did this to defend, obviously. Push the pawn. He comes down, gives a check. I don't care. Push the pawn and bring the king. Bring the king. And he takes. I take. He takes. I decide to push this pawn and say, hey, what are you going to decide? He wants to, at the moment, I just was like, hey, let's make this a little simpler over here. He locks the position. Easy for me. That's fine. Even if he took, I just recapture, right? Like I have this pawn and I can play for this, and my king is right here, so I could just, it's even closer for me to deal with. Instead, he just locks the position. I'm like, okay, bring the king. I don't care about this pawn because I know that I can take these. And I didn't even, so what is the best move here? Is it taking this? Okay. See, I didn't know about that. That's a weird move. I would never have played that. I have no idea why I'd want you to play that, but I'm assuming that it's just like push this pawn to infinity because it is the farthest pushed. So it's probably the least amount of moves. But I don't want my opponent to have counterplay, so I went back. This is literally a mistake or inaccuracy. Pushing the pawn. So yeah, it's like taking my eyes off the prize. I just didn't want my opponent to have any counterplay, so this pawn is not going anywhere. My king is shielding this king from ever entering over here, and I can just push these pawns to infinity. So I played with 1,150 accuracy, so like an 1,100. That's freaking sweet. I've been having quite a few games where I win them, and it just says you played like way above your level, so hopefully one day I can achieve that level. Still yet to be determined, but working on it. And yeah, we played a good game. That was fun. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I have reached 500 subscribers, and I am more than grateful for you guys. So I super appreciate the support. I hope you enjoy the content I've been putting out. If you got any suggestions for me to kind of mix it up a little bit, I'm down to hear it. I take criticism well. If you look forward to me just progressing on my chess journey, I appreciate that too, and I really love being able to put the content out there for you to enjoy. So thank you guys again, and I hope you enjoyed, like I said, and we'll see you tomorrow.